On the 7th of April every year, the people of Rwanda converge on the Kigali Genocide Memorial to commemorate the International Day of Reflection on the Genocide in Rwanda, designated by the United Nations General Assembly.
Things like violence and hate speech.
President Paul Kagame's speech on the 29th anniversary of the genocide is a call to shun divisive tendencies for peace and unity to thrive in the land of 1,000 hills.
Do we need over 1 million eyes to see that genocide is the shame to the human race? We lose from the pain.
The Kigali Genocide Memorial is a tourist attraction welcoming visitors every year.
Do we have to say never again?
Like citizens of other countries, Nigerians have been visiting the Kigali Genocide Memorial to get a better understanding of the checkered history of the East African country.
Bana b'u Rwanda dufatira mbere turwanye ikibi tutazasubira mu mwijima
abakijwe Rwanda
ntibazagaruka ariko
Serge Ruigamba is the Relations Coordinator of Aegis Trust in Rwanda. A man quite hospitable and willing to provide historical perspectives about the 1994 genocide, Ruigamba and I walk the short distance to where the names of those interred in the memorial are etched on the walls.
Memorial sites are built to keep records, keep memories, but learning. So the place itself, like the place that we are at now, is dedicated to remembrance and learning. And we've got 235 memorials across the country, though Kigali Genocide Memorial, where we are, is the main one. We've got over 250,000 people buried, and there's the concrete. So each concrete has between 6 to 7 meters deep. They are all filled with the coffins, and the coffin can have a family or more than family inside. So that's the image of this place, and is considered as the main genocide memorial you have across the country.
He highlights the danger of unhealthy narratives, describing it as toxic to the unity of any nation.
Hate speech, you should avoid it, as I did say earlier, but we also have to know about narratives that we give in terms of identity. We all African people, we can embrace our diversities, but still stick on one identity. If I'm a Hausa or Igbo, I'm a Nigerian first. And the future of the country, if you don't consider it as it is like that, it affects you later, either your children or your great children. So it's like sticking on having a common identity.
Hamzat Lawal, a Nigerian who is also an anti-corruption activist and chief executive officer of Connected Development, is visiting the memorial on this day.
In Rwanda, in less than a week, over 1 million people lost their lives just because of ethnic differences. And I think in taking lessons for Nigeria, we must understand that we must do away with these rhetorics, with this sentiment and the hate speech, misinformation and disinformation. We must look at what unites us as a people.
If you look at Kigali today, you can see that after the crisis, the people have resolved to ensure that they change the fortunes of their country. And you can see it's a country that everybody wants to come today, which is now serving as an example of people working together. And that's why our own nation, we must ensure that leaders stop this hate speech that we are doing in our country and begin to promote peaceful coexistence.
The Nigerians who fought the civil war between 1967 and 1970, some of them are still alive, including the president of Nigeria. He was a commanding general in the war. Yet, we have no public documentation of the tragedies of those periods. So coming to this place, just merely looking at the trees, they tell you the story. Trees represent eternity. Trees represent memory. Trees represent life. They represent the future. So Nigerian rulers, Nigerian leaders should rather choose to be called leaders and not rulers. Nigeria fought 30 months of bloody war. A war that eliminated more than 2 million people. Today in Nigeria, there's no semblance, there's no symbol, there is no memorial, there's no public documentation, no record of the tragedies of 1967 and 1970.
Rwanda has had a turbulent history of ethnic cleansing with a very alarming casualty figure. But here's the beauty of it. The people have chosen to come out of the ashes that once threatened the existence of their country, to forge a common bond of unity. But moving to Nigeria, post-election narratives have been tainted with ethno-religious sentiments culminating in hate speech. But looking at the Rwandan experience, Nigerians have so much to learn to avert a civil war reminiscent of 1967 to 1970. But again, the political leadership has a role to play to douse tension in the country. For never again should Nigeria return to its turbulent, chaotic, and bitter past. From Kigali, Ufieteme George, Arise News.